Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's a super busy week. We have to catalog Freya's litter. We also have to finish up our evals on the latest Esme litter. I do believe both bucks are going to be processed. I did sell a doe. I sold Fig. She was decent. So we're going to go look at her sister again and we're going to see if she's worth anything. If she's not, she will go to, she will be processed as well. It is in the 40s, usually at least a couple times a week right now. So we're going to also try to get in a few breedings, at least for the satins. We didn't get any hits on the satins last time, so we're going to try them. Tomorrow we also have to process the rest of Sonia's litter. I think she has 6 or 7 grow outs that need to go into the freezer. And Freya's litter at this point is, I think, 8.5 weeks old, so they need to get moved out into the grow out hutch. First things first, we're definitely going to go through Esme's litter. I don't think there's a buck in there that's worth keeping, but we have to check. It's kind of our final check. They are 12 to 13 weeks at this point, and they need to go. They are eating a lot of grain. They're not growing as much now. So we've kind of hit the peak. And if no one's staying, they really, at this point, should go in the freezer. So we're going to do that first, and then we will go ahead and we will go through Freya's litter, and then we will weigh them, we will sex them, we will mark them, and then we will track it in our online app. We use EverBreed, so we'll show you kind of a little bit of how that looks, and we'll go over some of that stuff. There are a couple of cold nights and cold days here in the forecast still, so everyone that we're doing out here, we're probably just not going to breed. We do have 2 rabbits inside. We have Trigger that still needs to be proven. We still also have Shalala who needs to be proven, so we're going to try them again. Last time I did breed Shalala, she did get a little bit of a nick on her ear from the buck, so that's what you're going to see. It's a little bit, we've cleaned it, it's dry, it's kind of scabbed over now, but that is what happened last time I bred them. The buck was a little bit, he wasn't aggressive, he just took a nip and she didn't do anything, so I was unaware until I actually took her out of the cage and I saw what was happening. So I did some first aid on that, but when you see her, she is going to have a little bit of a scab in her ear, and that is what that is. Most of my bucks are really gentle. They know their job. They're fairly easy to deal with, but this is kind of a new buck. He's young. He's eager to get the job done, so he was a little bit sassy last time we bred him. So let's get to it. The babies are out. Hello, little thing. So I came in and there was 2 out. Looks like this one is the braver one. All right, so this is Fig's sister. Fig peaked a little bit too early, so I was not willing to keep her. The growth or the weight really is not there for any of these guys, so that's also a point against them. And then especially for this doe, since she is A, broken, and B, sparsely marked broken, I'm not really super excited to keep her. She also has a little bit of weird ear. I'm not sure what this is called, but it looks kind of like heathering. So for me, there's already a lot against her for keeping. But we're gonna stack her up. We're gonna see what she's looking like. We're gonna weigh her again. We're gonna specifically look at her feet, because this is something that we are, we're willing to work with rabbits that don't necessarily have the best type, as long as they have really nice feet. So we're gonna stack her up and we're gonna see what she looks like. And we're gonna check her feet, all that stuff. So she peaks early. So she peaks right up here, which is not ideal. She has a lot of depth, which comes from her mom. So that's a plus. But at this point, we have plenty of depth in our program. We really need to push this back. She also has so much depth, it seems, that you can feel her spine. And so that's something that we're also working against. We are not looking to continue to breed animals that you can feel / see their spine protruding. That means that they don't have a lot of meat throughout. She has an okay loin, but I want all of that uniformly around. She has decent foot base, which also is another thing that we struggle with here, is foot base. So, oh, it's okay. So if we look at her back end, she has a very forward spine, which shows her peak. She's really not all that special in the loin, but if you look at her foot base, it's not too terrible. It's still too pinched for what we want. It's still too close for what we want. So I don't think that I will consider selling her either, because she has too much against her. So she has more value to us in the freezer. So she will go back in the pen that she was in, and then we will process her tomorrow. So along with all of the conformation issues she has, she is only 4 pounds at 14 weeks. So even if you're growing for show, even if you're breeding and growing everything for show, that's still not nearly enough weight to even justify A, keeping her, B, selling her, because you want anyone who purchases from you to also have a good time. So she's really nothing special. Her fur is also not that great. So for me, it's a 100% call. She has nothing there that I want. She doesn't have the growth. She doesn't have the foot base. She doesn't have a whole lot of anything. She is nice to work with. She's a nice rabbit, but also that's not something that, with all of the other issues stacked against her, that's not really something that I can go ahead and continue to breed. So she will be culled. For really good growth rate, you are looking at 5 pounds by 12 weeks. That is the target. And anything past that continues to kind of get worse and worse as far as numbers. So your target, specifically for those of you who are growing meat animals, specifically meat recs, your target is 5 pounds live weight by 12 weeks. The recs do tend to grow slower, but I need her to be closer to 5 at 14 weeks, which she's not. She's 4 pounds. She needs another pound on her, which she could get to in another 2 weeks at 16 weeks. But again, she's perfect fryer size, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to process her. So this boy, for me, is an automatic no. He's an automatic no for many reasons, but one of them is that he is extremely skittish. He also is the runt. So even if he's typed well, you guys can't see that. Even if he's typed well like this, he's not bad type-wise. His peak is a little bit closer to where we want it. So for type, not bad. But the problem with him is he is so small. He's the smallest of the litter, always has been, has an okay loin. I'm only getting this much space between his foot base, so not great there. Again, he is a relatively sparsely marked broken caster, but again, his fur is okay, but he's already sprouting guard hairs. So it's really hard to see on camera, but he already has a bunch of guard hairs. And I've noticed within the last year that I'm having more babies pop up with guard hairs than I prefer. Guard hairs in the recs are not great. There are some breeds that are supposed to have guard hairs. There are other breeds that are not. Recs are not supposed to have guard hairs. So rather than keep a really small buck who's broken, who, him being a broken buck also limits me to what I can breed him to, because I can't breed him to another broken. So it limits me to what I can do with him, as well as the fact that he's small and he doesn't have a big enough foot base. All of these guys also have really small ears, which is not super great for me. I don't like small ears. I like well-proportioned ears. So he is only a fraction bigger than his sister. He does have better type than she does, but that's really all that's going for him. So he will be on the list to cull tomorrow as well. So this buck I had high hopes for. He does have the better fur of all of his siblings, including Fig. He also is about the same size as Fig. I believe he'll weigh out to be the same weight as Fig as well. Decently typed. Nice thick loin. Nice shoulder width. So see how thick his shoulders are? Not bad. Way different than what most of my bucks have. These are definitely Preston shoulders, so that's good. He's a little bit rounder than I would like. He kind of slopes back a little bit more than I want. I really want that bum to be a little bit tighter, but not terrible. I like how he keeps a pose too, which is really nice. Yeah, he still slopes a little bit more than I want. He's not terrible. This could straighten up a little bit as he ages, but I like how he holds a pose too. That means he's comfortable. It's not a big deal for him to pose up. He's a little bit more marked than his siblings, which is also great. Let's take a look at his loin, because that's going to tell me really. He also has guard hairs, which I'm not thrilled about, but looks like he's a little bit pinched as well. Still don't have a lot of foot base in there. He has a really small proportioned tail. I'm also going to take a look at his feet. So we already know that his foot base is not great, so they're going to be close together. But they're fairly straight when you're looking straight on. They're fairly big. He still has all of his fur on his feet, so that's not terrible. He might be worth growing out a little bit more, but if you can see when he just jumped up, he is definitely pinched. So everything kind of goes at an angle, like a pizza, like a backwards pizza. So his hips kind of are making a triangle outward. So that is pinched. He's not terrible. Pinching just makes them uncomfortable. Again, it's one of those conformation faults that you don't want to breed for, but he has enough good stuff that I'm willing to grow him out for another 16 weeks. I'm going to weigh him and see what he weighs, but if he weighs closer to 5, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give him another 2 weeks, and then we will see if he's worth A, keeping in the breeding program, or B, sending him to someone else's breeding program. He also has a great personality. He's not fidgety. He's not scared. He's reserved, but not so terribly so that he is hard to catch, hard to work with, or anything like that. So that's also a good point. Yes. Okay. So he's a little bit over 5 pounds. I would really like him to be closer to 6, but his growth is there. His size is there. He's got some good points. So he is going to hang out for a little while. I'm going to put him in the cage in here to separate him from his brother. And then we will grow him out for another couple weeks. Next is going to be Freya's litter. Freya's litter has only been played with and gentled a little bit. I've been really busy with other projects. We did get Gus, so I've been busy with that. So they're going to be a little bit hard to handle, but that's okay. I'm going to put my sleeves on and I'll show you how we handle like unhandled rabbits here. It's not that different than how we handle normal, well-adjusted rabbits, but this litter was kind of left to their own devices, so they're going to be a little bit skittish, and that's okay. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to weigh them, we're going to sex them, and then we will log them. For camera and tripod safety, we're putting everything up here. So it's going to look a little bit funny when we go ahead and we pose them up. But again, they're not as handled as some of the other animals that I have here yet. So I'm just going to do an overall sort of quick look, and then we will go from there. And as you guys know, I always label first. So whatever I have for colors, I go ahead and I label in here first, and then I will check off if they're a buck or a doe, and then I'll weigh them, all that good stuff. Okay. So first things first, we're going to get them used to being stacked up. Takes a minute, and we're not looking for perfection here. We're just looking for them to get into the pose to start. They're going to also change so much from this age, so we're not looking for anything in particular as far as what they look like, but we'll go ahead and we'll sex now. So we turn over just like this. Nice strong hands. Gentle but strong. That is a Miss Little Doe. Broken Blue Otter. Doe. In she goes. 3 pounds. So then we label. Doe, 3 pounds, because we're going to input this in our app later. So these guys are 9 weeks. What we're going to do is we're going to put all of these guys back in with mom, and then we're going to process the 1 buck that's in the grow out hutch, and then we will go ahead and we'll put these guys in the grow out hutch tomorrow. But for today, they're going to go back in with mom. Again, just getting them used to being on the table and being manipulated. Not looking for anything in particular right now. Good job. Now we sex. Strong hands, strong gentle hands, back in the crook of your arm. And you quickly sex. We have another doe. So she gets weighed. She is 4 pounds. So doe, 4 pounds. I suspect that you are a buck. Good job. These guys are doing a lot better than I thought they would for not being played with. Buck. I was correct. Buck. And weigh 2.5. You're okay. And again, you just kind of hang out with them until they get the idea. Good job. This guy looks like he may or may not be a mosaic, but we won't know until later on. He is very, very thin framed. But again, we're not really looking for much at this stage. So gentle tip. So this is a doe. A lot of does in this litter. Another 2.5. Before we finish the last one, which is the opal, I did want to mention that normally during the season, when I have the space. I take everybody off mom at 8 weeks. Occasionally, sometimes I'll take them off at 7. I'll start to take them off because I don't see any difference in growth. They grow better, believe it or not, off of mom at that point. But since I don't have a whole lot of space, it is wintertime. I don't have a whole lot of litters. I'm not really in a production mindset right now. I don't mind them hanging out with mom for an extra week, but we are going to put them in their own space tomorrow because anything over 10 weeks, mom starts to get a little bit annoyed, which is fair. During the summer, it's definitely 8 weeks. Right now, I'm not as anal about it, but they're leaving mom tomorrow. I'm putting them all back in there, and she's like, why are you putting them back in? Because she's a brood animal. She's done this a million times. So she's like, why are these babies coming back into my cage? So far, this guy's my personal favorite. Again, sparsely marked, which is not ideal for what I'm doing, but he's got a really nice head. I'm assuming he's a buck. He is sassy, so he might be a doe. But so far, this is my favorite. This is my pick of the litter. And that might change as they grow, but he seems to be the biggest. You are a doe, it looks like. Yeah, you're a doe. Makes sense. So, not that I want to keep any more brokens, but because of the nice head she has and the growth that she has, which we'll check and we'll weigh her in a second, but she might be a candidate for being held back if she has a nice conformation. I really want a solid. I don't want any more brokens, but here we are. Yep. 4 pounds at 9 weeks. Definitely a great candidate. Okay, now that that's done, let's get to breeding. I'm not looking forward to breeding again because I don't think anyone is going to take, but let's try it. That was unsuccessful, obviously. Like I said, we're going to wait on all these girls, but we'll try again the next warm day. This is kind of what breeding rabbits in the springtime looks like. Either you get willing participants or you get one willing participant. Okay, so we did the baby things. We tried to do the breeding things. And now we're just going to clean a little bit. The rabbitry needs a little bit of cleaning because, again, this week was kind of busy at the farm. And last week I had a bunch of other things going on, mostly Gus related. There's a lot of puppy training that we've been doing, a lot of desensitization training we've been doing. So I've been quite busy, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to clean the barn. Okay, cleaning is done, as well as all of the cataloging of everybody. So I'm going to show you what that looks like on the app and how we kind of input the information.
Okay, so this is EverBreed, you guys. They have a lot of built-in options, which is really great. They have active breeders. They keep track of your litters, all of your kits. We don't really use the finances section, but it can be used. So here are all of our breeders. It does have a schedule. I don't usually use a schedule, but it is extremely helpful for some people. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our active litters page. Now, we have 3 litters. One is Esme's, we have Laz's, and we have the one that we just went through. So what we're going to do is we're going to do weigh, the first weigh option, and it brings up this little record. Now, we can do the entire litter or we can do individually. I already went through and I already recorded the weights for everybody to make it easy, but if we wanted to go ahead and do another input, we could do, say, Blue Water 1 is 4 pounds and 8 ounces. We would just go ahead and we would put 4 pounds, 8 ounces, and we'd go through the whole litter, and then we would go ahead and save it. And that would be the most current way. We also have options to put in different dates, which is really helpful. So
that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me while I just do generalized chores and to show you what my rabbitry life looks like from week to week. Thank you everyone who has been liking and subscribing and commenting. It's really, really helpful and it's super appreciated. I was not expecting to get even a little bit of a following, and now I'm like, almost 300 subscribers strong, which isn't a whole lot of subscribers, but also at the same time, that's 300 of you guys that want to hang out with me and want to learn and want to see what I have going on here. So thank you guys so much for that. I am going to sign off for the day. It's cold out. I am going to go inside now. So I will see you guys in the next one.